MetaStock user-defined pattern editor in the forecaster allows you to create custom patterns for your analysis. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create those patterns. With that, let's go into MetaStock. In this training video, we're going to review the MetaStock Forecaster's user-defined patterns feature. There are two ways to create a user-defined pattern, either from the chart of the forecaster or from the price pattern editor. We're going to review both of these in this training. Let's start by creating a user-defined pattern from the chart. To do that, we need to get into drawing mode. And you do that by checking the user-defined pattern select box. Next, you want to identify a pattern from an open chart. We're going to do that from Apple. First, I'm going to zoom in so I can get a better view of the chart. See if I can identify a pattern that is interesting to me. So I'm going to take my toolbar and zoom in a bit. When selecting patterns, you want to make sure that you have at least 3 bars, but no more than 250. So I'm just going to select some bars here, and you'll notice that I'm in pattern drawing mode because next to my mouse I'm going to have a little box. That's the identifier that lets me know that I'm in pattern drawing mode. So it's just a simple function of clicking your mouse pointer and drawing or pulling your mouse across the chart. And you'll get the gray box that's identifying the pattern that you would like to capture. Then you let go of your mouse pointer and you receive the message, do you want to select this price formation as a user-defined pattern? At this point you can say yes or no depending on what you'd like to do, and we're going to select yes. And this brings us over to the price pattern editor. So here is where you will give your pattern a name. You can give it whatever name you'd like. So we'll call it my pattern for now. You can also give it a description. Maybe you want to identify what instrument it was created from. So we'll put in Apple. You'll also notice along the pattern you have waypoints. This is where you can click and drag and edit your pattern. Make it the way you'd like it to be. Tailor it a little bit more. You also have the ability to, restore it back to the original pattern before you made any of your edits, and that's done with this Restore Original Pattern button. You also have the ability to invert your pattern as well as reverse your pattern. There's also a really great feature which is called a pattern quick test. This allows you to test your pattern against any of the instruments that you currently have open in the forecaster. So you can see here in this drop-down menu, I can quickly test my user-defined pattern against Apple or Microsoft to see how it's matching up currently against Microsoft between December 31st, 2014 to current. I have an 8% match. You can also use your scroll bar here to scroll back through the data and see how close my matches are. Here you can see in my date range I'm getting a 71% match. Just allows you to quickly do a test and kind of see how your pattern's matching up against the instruments that you're interested in. We also have the approximate price bars, which is the approximate price bars that this pattern is matching against. The pattern match sensitivity is the sensitivity the forecaster will use when matching up the pattern to the charts. And then you have your default cloud focus, and this can be changed from the drop-down menu to 30 days, 90 days, and 180 days. Now we'll talk a little bit about the pattern matching mode, and I think it's a little bit easier for me to show you rather than just kind of tell you what these options mean. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this pattern. And this is another way that you can create a pattern. Rather than just selecting it from a chart, you can actually draw a pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw a pattern, and I'm going to have this pattern just be on this one side of the editor. So right now we have the option here in the pattern matching mode for shape only. So with shape only, the forecaster will look for matches based on the shape of the pattern only. And you can see here, down here on the quick test, when we're looking at Google, it's expanding across the entire screen, right? It's expanding across the full 12 days or full 12 price bars. So it's looking for that shape, right? So when I change it to shape and location, it now identifies that the price or that the pattern that I have created is actually on that right-hand upper side of the editor, right? So when we do a shape and location option, the forecaster will look for matches using shape and the location of where the shape was drawn, not necessarily paying attention to the number of bars, right? But rather the shape and the location of that pattern. So those are the differences between the two options in the pattern matching mode. You also have the ability to delete your waypoints. So you can select the waypoint and just simply hit the delete key on your keyboard. You can select a range of waypoints by highlighting one, using your shift key, highlighting the end one, and hitting delete. This just adds more flexibility in the editing of your pattern. So let's go ahead and save this pattern, or actually I'm going to clear the pattern and I'm going to draw just another pattern. And we're going to save this pattern. So you'll notice here that when you save a custom pattern, not only is it identified by the name that you've given it, but it's also identified with the pattern that you've actually created. You can see my little head and shoulders pattern down here at the bottom. You have the ability, a few more buttons over here on the side to, copy a pattern, delete a pattern, modify a pattern. So those are all there for your use. We also have the ability to rescan all of your analysis. In this case, it would be the 3 that I have open for all of the patterns that we have selected, and this would include our custom patterns. And just really quickly, to get back into our editor, we would select Draw New Pattern, and you would be able to go ahead and draw your new pattern. So let's just rescan all of our analysis with our patterns, including the new one that we've created. So you do that with a rescan all analysis. And it's rescanned all 3 of our instruments with all of the recognized events in there. And let's go see if we can't. And there's our custom analysis. So I'm going to select that one specifically so it comes up on the chart. Another great feature of the forecaster is that you can hover over each of the analysis and you can get a chart tip essentially, which shows the price bars as well as the pattern match and gives you a pattern match confidence percentage. And I wanted to show one final thing, and I know I didn't show this before, but another way to get to the price pattern editor is to go to the event recognizer library, and again you can click on Draw a New Pattern. And that concludes our training on the MetaStock Forecaster user-defined patterns, and thank you for joining me.